Just sorry, I had to let off there because that car pulling out, but hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be going over a 2022 Mazda 3 in the premium package. First and foremost, a huge shout out and thank you to the Southtown Mazda here in Utah for giving me some time with this Mazda 3. Check out their inventory in the description down below, and they have several Mazda 3s for sale right now at MSRP. They don't ever charge above sticker, so if you're interested in one, reach out to them. Let's get into the video. Now, under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 2.5 liter 4-cylinder that goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 26 around town and then 34 on the highway, with power outputs being 186 horsepower and then 186 pound-feet of torque. Now let's go over the front end of the Mazda 3, and this one's finished in Soul Red, which is just so beautiful. You guys can see here with the body line there on the hood. Coming down below, we've got the LED accent light around the projector bulb, looks really sharp. And then notice how this accent piece right here is darkened instead of being finished in chrome, makes it look sportier. Got the Mazda logo there in the center, which doubles as a sensor. And overall, I think the car looks really sharp from a front end perspective, and with the darker elements, it kind of just gives it a sportier appearance. Coming around the side here, we've got two 15mm tires wrapped around 18-inch wheels in the front and over in the rear as well. And then you guys can see the design here on the wheels themselves. It's this beautiful kind of like dark metallic color. I think it looks absolutely fantastic and contrasts the Soul Red just perfectly. And then notice the trim piece here at the bottom is also darker in coloration. And you guys can see here with the mirror design how it's kind of like two-tone, right? You've got the body colored portion on the top, and then this is darker down below. Notice you've got chrome trim here on the bottom portion of the window, and now you guys can see it's a hatchback. So here's a key fob for the Mazda 3. You guys can see you've got the Mazda logo there on the back, and then here on the front we've got our unlock, lock, and then that is for the alarm. Now, you guys are probably wondering how to open the hatch. It's actually just below the Mazda logo, and then it pops right open. Now, popping into the back, notice we have a cargo cover already built in. We've got the floor mats here in the back, and then if we pull this up, see spare tire just underneath, and storage space is actually really good, and that's one of the benefits of going for the hatchback is you're gonna get a little bit more storage space, and there you go. Now the other big benefit with the hatchback is the appearance. This thing is just beautiful from an aesthetic perspective. So first off, notice how this is black here, so it kind of just creates some nice contrast. I love the look of the lights here, and then you guys can see all the badges here on the back. Dual outlet exhaust tips make it look a little bit sportier, and then that trim down there is also blacked out. But you guys can see here with the hatch, it just has this really cool kind of like sleek, sporty appearance, and it's also just kind of looks wider as well compared to the sedan. And so yeah, I definitely think it looks better. Now here's the door panel in the rear. You guys can see you've got really nice stitching and padding there, and then just down below you're going to rest your arm, and then here are these seats. So you guys can see again here with the leather and the perforated leather in the center portion. They look really nice and upscale, and let's pop in. So I actually fit, I'm about 6 foot. And so you guys can see that. And then also we've got this armrest cup holder situation. Let's head to the front. Now here's the door panel at the front. Again, you've got the stitching, the padding here at the top, and then look at the metallic trim that goes to the door handle. And then down below, you're gonna rest your arm again. This one does have the Bose sound system. Got all of your window controls here with the mirror adjustments. And then the mirrors do have blind spot monitoring. And then here are the seats at the front. So again, really nice leather here, perfect leather in the center. And then you guys can see the bolstering down below. You've got your adjustments on the side of the seat, pedal layout right there. And then you have your memory seat function. Sorry about that with the lighting. Right in this area, and you guys can see this for like the safety tech, stability control, and then again more padding right there. And there's one more look before you pop in. Now here is the steering wheel with the Mazda 3. Again, really nice leather. You've got the stitching here on the center portion. We do have our adaptive cruise control, volume controls, phone controls, all that fun stuff. Paddle shifters here on the back. And then you guys can see you've got the turn signal light stock, windshield wiper stock, and there's the steering wheel. Now here is the center gauge cluster. You've got analog gauges on either side, then you have that screen there in the center. And overall, I love the appearance of the gauge cluster. I think it has this just nice, clean look. It kind of reminds me of what Porsche used to have in the past before they went for like, you know, the current gauge cluster, which has like 6 different things in the center, 5 or 6 or whatever. And so yeah, this just looks a lot better to me. And there's the info button on the steering wheel, which you can press, and then that'll actually change that center menu. So depending on what you want to see, you can change that. And then we do have a sport mode, which will pop up there on the bottom. And there you go. So we've got the center infotainment system. First off, we pop it in reverse. We do have a backup camera. As you guys can see, resolution on the camera is actually really solid. Moving on from that, as for the infotainment system, it's not a touchscreen. It's controlled via a little dial. Now Mazda does this because they say that this is safer and easier to use than doing a touchscreen. And so it's pretty straightforward though with the dial itself. Response time with it is great, and you guys can see you can just go into stuff super quick. And then there's the shortcut buttons as well. Sorry about that with the camera. And so yeah, I like it. So we've got this really nice padding here on the dash, which again kind of just brings up the interior. We've got our climate controls down here. It does have a dual zone climate system. We've got heated seats for the front as well. And then down here you guys can see you've got some extra storage space here. Got a couple of cup holders. We have the shifter for that 6-speed automatic, again with the manual shift function, and we've got the sport mode. And then you guys can see here with the infotainment system controls, volume control, all that fun stuff. They do have a favorite button on top of that. Parking brake with our auto hold. And then you can see the center console here. Again, we've got padding here on the side and then on the top. And notice we got decent storage space there. USB is 12 volt inside of it, and notice how it slides backwards and forwards. I think that's pretty cool. And then coming over here to the glove box, you can see that whole setup, and then notice the metallic trim continues across, which is definitely nice. And then finishing things up here at the very top, you guys can see we do have a sunroof, all black headliner, and then also a manual mirror dimmer. Now here's the window sticker for the 2022 Mazda 3. You guys can see all of the standard equipment here with the car, and then we've got the optional equipment as well. And then you guys can see total MSRP $29,960. Let's take it out and see how it drives. Well, let's go over visibility before we set off. There's your visibility of the hood, and you guys can now see the heads-up display, hopefully. Both mirrors, again, they got blind spot. And then throughout the rest of the rear. And let go. So we are setting off here in the Mazda 3 hatchback. And first off, let's talk about the road noise and the ride quality. So first off, from a ride quality perspective, the one thing I notice about this compared to other little hatchbacks is it's just more refined. And that's kind of what Mazda's going for. And so yeah, it just has a nice smooth ride quality. And then on top of that road noise, again, it's more on the refined side of things. It just it's a little bit smoother and it's a little bit quieter as well, and that's kind of what you want. Now in terms of the seats, the one thing that I will say is the bolsters are relatively wide, so if you're a bigger person, yeah, moving around, you could definitely fit in these seats pretty comfortably. And then on top of that, you know, they've got a nice amount of support with them, so long road trips and everything, these seats would be pretty comfortable to be in, which is definitely a big plus. And you know, in the winter, if it's cold, you just throw on the heated seat function, and that definitely adds obviously to the seat comfort, which is, yeah, definitely a big plus. And you know, sorry guys that I decided to go out and review cars when there's tons of traffic apparently, which I'm not sure why, but let's get up and move here. Yeah, the engine's responsive, so is the transmission. So I'll pop it, I've got it in the sport mode, pop it in the manual mode. Glad that it has paddles, I love paddles. Yeah, transmission actually seems pretty responsive. And I don't think we got any U-turn people, so we're gonna just... Sorry, I had to let off there because that car pulling out, but really torquey. And I mean, this is responsive to the downshifts. I mean, for being a 6-speed automatic, it's responsive. It's solid. And this base engine's very quick, actually. And you guys gotta remember what this is, you know, competing against. This is, you know, taking an aim at, you know, like a Subaru Impreza hatchback, right? That's kind of that type of segment, or, you know, the Toyota Corolla as well, that hatchback. Here's what I have to say. This feels more of like a luxury car than those. Like, the interior is a lot nicer. The exterior also looks more luxury. And then from a driving perspective, this drives way sportier. The engine's more responsive, especially the CVT and the Subaru. Man, that CVT just doesn't compare to this. And so, yeah, this feels just sportier, more responsive, more luxurious. And so that's kind of what you're getting with the Mazda compared to the Subaru and the Toyota, right? And so I think that's definitely, I think that definitely makes it so that it's worth going for, right? And so yeah, I guess summing things up, if you want like, you know, a hatchback, right? You want kind of like a, you know, a fun sporty driving hatchback, but you want something that's more on the luxury side. That's what the Mazda 3 hatch gives you, from just an aesthetic perspective, but then also from a driving perspective as well, because it just feels a lot more refined.